Linux has come a long way, but the big question in 2025 is it really finally ready for everyone? Instead of just talking about it, let's actually test it. We are going to install apps, play some games, and even do some video editing and see if Linux can really stand toe to toe with Windows. Alright, let's start with gaming because let's be honest, this has always been Linux weak spot. On Windows, installing any game launcher like Steam or Epic Games is only downloading the software and clicking next until you can just get to play your game. So let's see how that compares here on Linux. On most modern distros, Steam is literally just a search and click away in the App Store. That's a huge improvement compared to the old days of complicated terminal installs. So in my case, I don't really have any Steam games. My games, I usually have them in Epic Games or Ubisoft launcher. So I find out that Heroic is better for games that are in the Epic launcher. So we're gonna use Heroic in this case. So I think the first thing we can do is see if Heroic is in our store. In this case, I'm using Omarchi. Install and see if so in gaming they only have Steam, RetroArch, which is for emulation, game emulation, and Minecraft. But we're not into none of those ones. So we want to search for just to see if we find Heroic in the package. So let's see. Heroic. And there you go. And that's done. So let's search to see if, okay, there is Heroic Game Launcher. Okay, what's changed? Bug and fixes and UI and UX physics. Let's close. Okay, so my library is empty. So we want to log in into my Epic account. Okay, so let's log in here. It's been a long time since I signed in. So let's then put my email. Okay. Security code. Okay, yes, and continue. That's correct. And okay, let's confirm and done linking. Okay, let's see if our games populate now into our library. Library. Okay, there you go. Yeah, that's it. I'm a big fan of Assassin's Creed. And I already finished with Shadows and Mirage, but I don't know if I'm gonna be able to play these games here, honestly. Uh, So let's try it on which one we should try. I mean, this is gonna take a long time downloading, but let's try with, let's see if we can play Shadows here. So, oh, error cannot get game info. Let's go back. Let's just click on install. And basically from here, we just have to just wait until the game install. This is a pretty huge game, so I'm just going to stop the recording here and come back until the game is installed and see if it's easy as Windows just to click and play. Okay, so seems like we found our first roadblock. Just installing the Heroic app, it's not enough. So I found in this post, they said that I have to install Ubisoft Connect first as a game in Heroic. So let's just try that first and see how it goes. But now we just have to go to uh, Ubisoft and download the exe file, which I wasn't sure if I had to download that, but I guess we can. So let's put it on our downloads. And that is the file that we're going to need here now. So when it's run install, we're going to select that file. Okay, it says plain. Okay. Yes, didn't I install this already? Run. Okay, it's launching there. Okay, so it says now to install any games through here, right? So let's say shadows, install additional language, no, continue, create shortcuts or create desktop, no. Okay, continue, accept terms. Okay, now we're going to the installation. So it's 113 gigs. So let's just stop the video and wait to see until it gets installed to see if we can finally play. Not a straightforward process at all. Seems fine to me. Wow, wow, wow. I think this is my first time really playing on Linux because I always wanted to, like, even for Assassin's Creed Shadows, I always played on Windows. Like this game, I played this entire games on Windows because one time I tried to play on Linux and it wasn't like this. Like I had issues when I was opening the game. Like it was really hard to get it working. So I just prefer to stay on Windows to play games. But now looking at this, man, it's looking really nice. So sure, some games still don't work perfectly, especially those with anti-cheat software. But for a large percentage of titles, it works identical to Windows, so that's impressive. Next up is productivity. What about the stuff we use every day? Writing documents, presentations, spreadsheets. LibreOffice comes pre-installed on a lot of distros and is fully compatible with Microsoft Office files. So if your friend sends you a Word document, you can open and edit it without issues. It may not have every single advanced feature of Office 365, but for 95% of the users, this gets the job done. What about creative works? What about editing images, videos? Now, here is where things get interesting. So Adobe doesn't support Linux. So what do we do about Photoshop and Premiere? Well, for editing videos, we can install DaVinci Resolve, which actually support Linux, but I have found that a lot of users haven't had a great experience running DaVinci Resolve on their Linux. So let's try and see if this is true or what results do we get from it. So if you can see, I have tried installing DaVinci Resolve, but for some reason, when I try to open an executor, like I install it exactly how the guide say, but for some reason, when I try now to launch it, it won't open. So yeah, so if you probably need to edit videos and you are a user of probably DaVinci Resolve or Adobe, I might probably do this on Windows still because yeah, like I have found like a lot of users don't have good results using DaVinci Resolve on Linux yet. It was my first time trying DaVinci Resolve on Linux. I actually use DaVinci Resolve on Windows, so I don't have any issues there. But this was my first time trying it here. No, I have found that they also suggest for editing videos the Kdenlive. I have heard about that application, but I really haven't used it. But they say it's pretty good, so we can probably check it out here as well. Kdenlive. You say you have most of the basic things that you need to edit the video or edit a video, so that's cool. So this is how the interface look like. So how does this compare to Windows? Installing Steam, Office, or Adobe is still a bit simpler on Windows because everything is built with it in mind. But here is the key difference. On Linux, you get most of these things for free. You avoid constant ads in your system, and most importantly, you have full control over your machine. So is Linux ready for everyone in 2025? Honestly, yes. If you're gaming, working on documents, or even editing videos, Linux is more capable than ever. Sure, there is a learning curve and not every single app exists here, but the gap between Linux and Windows has never been this small. So if you have been on the fence, now is the best time to try it.